It's your boy Des Hines from the XenHouse podcast. If you like our content, like, subscribe, share. We're available on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. If you have anything you want us to talk about, anything we missed, comment below.
I can't move the way I used to, had to call the audible. I put in the work, no humble flex. And talk of the town, you see who next. They on checkers, I'm on chess. Had to hit up with the X. XenHouse.
This is the XenHouse podcast. This is episode 64.
64.
We're making moves.
6-4.
On the XenHouse podcast, we like to tie fitness, community, and culture and merge it with mind, body, and soul. It's your boy, the one and only Des Hines.
Your boy A. Joe.
Ross B.
Oh my gosh.
That boy got light skin on us.
Yeah, this bullshit.
That's who I
is back.
am, Mel.
Came in with the
You know what I'm
do-rag.
Yeah, pink do-rag at that.
With the
Fake
pink
killer
do-rag.
cam.
And it's the,
Velvet.
And now
Oh
it's
my
making
God,
sense.
this
He
dude
talking
came
about
with
he
a velvet
Ross,
do-rag.
Ross B.
We on the south end, y'all. He from the west side, though.
This dude acting crazy. We got a special guest today. This young man is at Army football player. He just had his pro day. He's now looking for the next level, the next chapter of his life, trying to reach that next level. The one and only Ay'Jaun Marshall.
Yeah. Dummy.
Cadet.
Cadet.
That's how y'all do it, right?
Man. Oh, cadet
That, so
three.
that's what
That's not
how you salute.
what's the official way to
So you want
Mike,
you
I
got
blame you.
you gotta get a knife hand. That's what we call a knife hand in the military. It's
Okay.
like you correcting somebody, you be like,
Mm.
what you doing? You busy?
They be doing that too.
Yeah, nah, I mean you get it a lot during basic training, but you want really it's like eyebrow, or if you wearing glasses, I always go to the corner of my glasses, like a 45-degree angle. And then
Mike,
boom.
I thought you said
Yeah,
this,
that's
Mike.
different than what Mike said.
Mike, I thought you said this, Mike.
Look,
What happened?
I don't know what Mike had going on when he taught y'all, but I ain't
Mike,
yeah.
you got 24 hours
Yeah,
to
it's
respond.
because
yo.
you're bald, yo.
That's what it gotta
yeah,
be.
Yeah, he
Left
don't got
side.
he don't got the,
He don't got
the line
the
to
difference in age.
That's crazy.
I ain't.
I got nothing to do with that. That's crazy.
hit
Malcolm
Tyson
ain't
to
say
go
nothing
crazy.
either, but his shit pushed back. I ain't
Oh,
gonna say
my
nothing.
God.
I got you, Malcolm.
They both deployed. Yo. They not gonna see this
All right, so
till
they
Wednesday.
got 72 hours to respond. They got one more time. So, hey, tell us about where you were born, where you were raised, and how. Now, let's not go too fast. Just where you from, where you raised, and let's talk a little bit about football. I brought you to where you are now.
So, from Baltimore, Maryland, if you couldn't tell already. I lived there till I was probably like 8, and then I moved to PA. Mom Dukes, she took us up to PA because she thought it would be better opportunities for her and my brother and my sister. So, went to PA, was living in PA till freshman year. And then we end up losing our crib after my freshman football season in PA. So then we had to move back down Baltimore. But my mother ain't want me to go to high school down Baltimore because she see, like, my sister, she used to geek.
Mhm.
So she kind of ruined that for me. But at the same time, we ended up moving back in with my grandparents, and my grandmother, she was having a lot of strokes, real serious health problems. So we was able to kind of be there and take care of her in that time. And at the time when you going through it, and I got to wake up 5 a.m. to make sure I get to school on time in PA, it was about an hour away. It was York, Pennsylvania, and in Baltimore. And we driving every morning, 695, 83. It's a straight shot. And waking up 5 a.m., make sure I get dressed, whatever. But I missed a lot of school days during that time, too. So I wasn't even able to get my license on time. I had to wait like an extra 60 days because I missed too many days of school. So that was, it was a rough time, but after my grandmother had passed in 2020, like, I would go back to that in a heartbeat, just because them was precious moments that I wouldn't have got 4 years of that. Like, we did that up until my senior year, and we lost my grandmother February 2020. So that was kind of, it was like a surreal moment at the time, but looking back, I would do it in a heartbeat again just to get that time with my grandmother again, for sure.
So mom made a lot of sacrifices, AKA.
Yes,
Because
since.
she moved to PA,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all moved back to Baltimore, and you still went to school back in PA. Oh man, it's a lot.
And you're taking care of your grandma.
And you were
Yeah.
taking care of your grandma.
Taking care of my grandmother.
That's a
Family
that's a
first,
lot.
boy.
Family first.
You
man.
got to make sacrifices, for real. Shout out to Mom, dude.
Nah,
to
for
Mama.
real, for real. Shout out to Dukes. I mean, she raised 3 kids on her own. I mean, I couldn't thank her enough. Definitely my aunt too helped out a lot.
Yeah.
Just the family in general. And they always like push me to really be great. Like my uncle, he called me Johnny Mon. I don't know why. But
Black folks be coming
yeah,
up
that's
with
the
anything,
craziest
boy.
nicknames. But like, he basically always said like I got the power, like I could be the one. Like, you know, I kind of always just took that to heart. It was ever since I was younger. So shout out Uncle Neil too, but shout out the whole fam for real.
Believing at a young age is real.
Yeah.
It helps. So let's talk some football. How was playing sports through all of that? And like, did you only play football? Or you played multiple sports?
Yeah, so coming up, I really ain't played too many organized sports because at the time it was a lot of money. I didn't start playing. I started off playing flag football. That was my first, I guess you could say, kind of official sport. I played flag football and then I played basketball. In like the 5th grade, I think I started, or 4th grade. And I did flag for 2 years. And then I hooped for them 2 years. Then I stopped hooting. And then I transitioned into tackle football, I think 6th grade year. And only thing I knew, like, from playing like throw up tackle football in the neighborhood when I was younger was that
Kill
like
the
I was
carrier,
fast.
boy.
Yeah,
Gotta
that's
move.
what y'all call it?
Yeah.
Mhm. What you call it?
Kill the carry, throw it up, throw it.
I mean, it's another way we call it, but yeah, we gotta keep it.
Explain the
PG.
rules. Explain the rules for the folks
Basically,
that don't
one person got the ball. It's like 1 against however many playing. You got to tackle that person. We had end zone, so if you were to make it to the end zone, like whatever. I mean, we never kept points, but it was just like who can have the ball the longest. As soon as you get tackled, you got to throw it up. Whoever get it, they the next
That's it.
person that got to get tackled. So playing that, I knew I was fast. I would eat up pretty good. Wait, that's
No, that's you would do well.
I do. I would go crazy in the neighborhood. So,
Beat
but
up, huh?
know. Whoa.
Okay.
We ain't gonna talk about
Yeah,
that.
we gonna
yeah, pause, but
we gonna move on from that. So so football. So I looked at some of your stats from high school.
Had some high numbers.
He had over 5,000 all-purpose yards, 50 touchdowns,
Okay.
which is good career for anybody in high school. Why Army?
man, all right, so
Keep
I
it
got-
real.
I got to. I'm gonna keep it real. So my high school coach sent my tape out after my junior year. I just had a big year junior year. I only played 7 games. We was contrast. We won 2 games, so we was 2-8. But I only played 7. I ended up winning Player of the Year that year. I had like 1,800 yards, like 20-something touchdowns. Y'all probably seen it. You feel me?
Relax.
but we wasn't that good, so I was surprised when I had got nominated for it, Offensive Player of the Year, and then I ended up winning it. So after that, my high school coach sent my film out to this coach, Coach Luce. He at Army right now. Shout out Coach Luce. But he was at Lafayette at the time, or my coach thought he was, but he just had went back to Army, so he sent it to him. And that's kind of how it worked out. I get a follow on Twitter like that. February from Coach Luce. He DM'd me like, send your film. I love it. Can you get up here for a junior day in March? I go up for the junior day in March. It's probably like the end of March. And the whole time I had a fever. And it'd be cold upstate New York in March. So the whole time I'm outside at the spring
Shivering.
practices, shivering, snot down my nose.
Acting like that.
Headache.
No.
Acting like
That's
that.
year round.
Roscoe.
That's how you
That's
do
year
it.
round, yo.
Yeah, not all that shivering and shit, but the mucus, boy.
They be different.
The mucus, yo.
That boy got a whole toilet roll in his pocket.
Not
You
totally
keep
wrong.
it on you, the little Kleenex joint?
Nah, look at my nose, yo. I need paper towel, big
Paper towel.
Yo, my
Yeah,
pocket's always paper towel. That's like money to me.
So,
Be
anyway,
strong.
went to Army, March, end up getting the offer in April. It's a video out there, like I'm getting my first offer, and they like,
I saw that.
yeah, so they
Yeah.
like told me I was getting in trouble. My head coach texted me. He like, can you come down to the office? In all caps. I'm like, for what? It's close to the end of the day. I'm thinking like, dang, they just found out about my address not really being in PA no more. So I'm like, dang, I'm about to
They
get
done
kicked
got
out
you.
of school.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like,
I
I
got
done
like
finessed this
that
long.
before too.
We've
Yeah.
seen people that happen to them.
Come on, I done seen them literally take people like in the middle of class, like they leave in school, like, cause they addressing match up. So I'm thinking,
Got you.
yeah, so I'm like, Dad, I'm texting Dukes. I'm like, they might have found out. She like, no, I can't get off till 5, whatever. So my heart racing, not knowing I'm about to get an offer. So I get down to the office. My head coach acting all mad. He in the principal's office. He acting all mad. And then like the athletic director walk in, and then like I think like the dean walked in, and the front desk lady walk in. And they all in the office. I'm like, dang, I need all these, like authority. Like, what I
Right.
really
Sure.
do? I thought I did. Like, they found out about the other stuff. Anyway, they didn't. So they record, and then my coach like call Coach Luce. And I call him, and he give me the offer. And it was just like a crazy moment because a combination of everything going on. My grandmother not feeling well. We living in Baltimore. It was just like I never thought it would happen. Like we wasn't that good as a high school football team, so you never really hear about kids from not good high schools going D1.
Right.
And nobody in the area had went in a couple years, so it was kind of like a
It was a big thing.
yeah.
For him.
It was crazy. It was like a dream come true. I remember calling my fam on a group FaceTime, and like I'm like damn near crying, and I told them they offered me, and they start crying, and it was kind of like a surreal moment. And then I end up, after I got Army, I got Sacred Heart. Not too long after, I got Morgan State. Not too long after, Navy. And I had them going into my senior year. Now I had interest from Towson, Delaware, Villanova, Temple. I had went to some camps. I ended up getting some PWOs from some bigger schools like Temple, Pitt.
Shout out.
Shout out Temple.
People
They
shoulda
should have
offered
offered me. Actually, don't.
What's
Shout
up?
out
They should have
Temple.
offered them.
They shouldn't have offered you. Oh, they didn't.
Wow. My goodness.
Why are you talking?
But
Damn.
I thought they should have offered me. But it's all good. I end up getting Villanova, Delaware, and Towson after my senior year, but after my senior football season. But I was just kind of like, Army was showing a lot of love. Like they was consistent. Like they was always calling me. They was just keeping consistency. Like I couldn't forget about them.
Right, right.
And the other schools wasn't as consistent. But I remember it was like it was like January. So I think the second signing day coming up in that February. And I'm like, I'm not trying to go to Army. Like I'm not trying to be in the military. I'm looking up what life like that don't look like I could adapt or fit into it.
Right.
And I even had a English teacher, 11th grade year, said like, when I first got the offer, they kind of announced it on the school announcements, and she pulled me aside. Like she seen me in the hallway, and she like pulled me aside, and she was like, "Do you really think like you would be able to fit in there? Like you realize you're taking up somebody else's spot if you decide to go there, somebody else's congressional nomination that like they've been planning their whole life to go there, and you might have just took their spot." And that's what I'm saying.
Who's this lady, yo?
She was. I'm not gonna say her
Okay.
name, but if it ever get out to her, she knows who she was. But
You got 24 hours to respond. Man. You trying
I
to
never,
Apologize.
I never forget that to this day, for sure. So that kind of, that a lot of factors played into it. Like Army, they was talking about the future, the life afterward, the West Point connection. It all sounded good, and then I was just thinking like, I'm gonna be rich regardless whether I can get to the league or not.
Right.
With these connections, so I was like thinking about the situation we was in. My fam was liking what they was talking about. It just all kind of fit perfectly. Like, so I ended up committing after my official visit and being around some guys. So that's kind of how I got the Army. Had to go prep school and everything after that.
Yeah, many people may not know how it works. So at Army, you're talking about the
So,
prep school. When you
it's-
first get there, what do you do?
So I had to go to the prep school. I didn't have the crazy SAT test scores. I had a decent GPA in high school. I had a 3.8, but I only scored like 1,000. I think my highest was like 1090 on the SAT, and I needed like 1250 to go straight into West Point. So I had to go to the prep school, which a lot of athletes do. They say probably like 85% of their recruited athletes go to the prep school first. So I wasn't thinking too much of it. And I was thinking like it's a year of development. My birthday was in the summer, so I was kind of like ahead, graduated at 17.
Right.
So it kind of be like a year to catch up. I'll be coming in like freshman, the age I'm supposed to, maybe got a little taller, a little bigger, a little faster. So when you first get the Army, you do like a boot camp. So they kind of break you down.
What's that, 3 weeks?
3 weeks at the prep school, but then when you get to the actual academy, it's usually 6 weeks. But if you're a football player, it's 4 weeks because you get out early because you got camp.
Yeah.
So you get out early for camp. And I went into West Point. I finished my prep school year, but they cut us off because COVID happened the spring break of my prep school year. So that was March 2020. Whole world shut down. Everybody know about COVID. So I'm thinking the world ending, to be honest. So I'm not. I was planning to leave Army. Like I was planning to transfer just because I was like, let me finish my prep school year. See if I can get any credits transferred over or whatever. And I was about to probably like either go JUCO or transfer to another like smaller D1 FCS. And COVID happened. So I just wasn't thinking about that no more. Like I'm thinking I'm never going to go back there anyway. So why it matter? Like I'm probably never going to be able to go to another school. Come to find out like 2-3 months later, June, they like, y'all got to come back in July. So we starting the real thing. So I'm like, dang, I'm really about to follow through with this and go into the actual academy. And I ended up doing it. I had 4 weeks of basic training, but we did it with masks. So it was like, it wasn't that bad. They couldn't really yell at you. You had to keep 6 feet. Usually they yell screaming in your face, smoking you. They yelling at me from 6. So I already been through it. So I'm like laughing under the mask. And they like, why you smiling? I'm like, how you know I'm smiling? But I mean,
why every dude from Baltimore? They got a problem with smiling. One of my boys from Baltimore, my coach you met forward by forward. He would speak, right? The whole team like this. The one dude from Baltimore, he like this. Look.
Yeah,
he just smiling.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we just happy dudes or something.
That's what it gotta be.
Probably, right? So that was cool. Ended up kind of transitioning into my freshman year, but it was like COVID, so we wore masks the whole year. Didn't know how many games we gonna play, had a makeshift season, but ended up playing freshman year, getting some burn. Ended up playing all 4 years at Army, so it was a success.
When you first got into Army, what was the most shocking thing?
That's what I was going to get into.
Yeah,
Same
I
question.
feel like I've heard different things. I want to hear your perspective.
If you're not like my mother or my like father or some authority figure in my life, and you just coming up to me screaming, like I'm gonna feel some type of way. So it was kind of like when they start, like I start popping off at prep school, like you don't gotta get that close. Like they this close yelling, like, why you not at the position of attention? I'm like, you don't gotta get that close. Like you spitting and stuff. Like I'm talking back. So now I gotta do push-ups and exercising. And that was probably the biggest adjustment, like having to be okay with somebody you don't even know just in your face yelling at you. Cause if that happened anywhere else, it's not gonna go too sweet.
But you didn't know, like going into it, that's like a part of
I mean,
a part of it.
I
Yeah,
did, but
you
the
know it's
Baltimore
coming.
side came out.
The Baltimore.
But it's just like when you get thrown into that action, like it's different when you watching on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's probably not that bad. Like I'm trying to think positive because like at this point, I'm committed, I'm going, so I'm trying to think positive. Like, all right, it's not that bad, but ended up being that bad. But outside of that, I knew manners, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. So that wasn't like a big adjustment for real. I think just kind of having to tighten it up, not having that freedom. But I mean, it's nothing now. It's a switch you gotta flip, you know.
Yeah.
Anybody in the military will say that, like it's just you gotta flip a switch when you got to and kind of let loose when you can't, when you don't. So.
You talk about this real quick, and this will affect, Ross and I will appreciate this. You talk about not being able to swim at all, 0 hitting the Army and having to know how to swim and taking one of the hardest swimming classes out there.
So, if y'all don't know, survival swim at Army, it was or still is the most failed course. So even people who know how to swim fail it. So I went in only going to a beach like once, been in the pool like maybe 2 other times, but them was the little 4 feet kiddie pools that we was in. So it was like I ain't have to, like my feet always on the ground. I wasn't worried about nothing. So we get the Army, and this my freshman year, and I gotta take this swim course, survival swimming. It's like, but it's levels to it. So I was at the rock level. It's rock. You got elementary, you got low, medium, high, and you got
been going.
then you got
He said
Grammy.
Rock Elementary, yo.
Yo, but them 2 different courses, but like it's just like rock. They teach you how to swim at first. The only thing about rock that suck is it's a whole semester long. So from August to December, you in the swimming pool.
Right.
So that's football season too. So I would sometimes be swimming for 45 minutes and then have to go through a 2-hour practice.
Right.
Plus
Dead
books.
tired.
Yeah, legs hurting, coach on my ass. I'm like, look, it's fail swim or give half effort sometimes in practice. But I got through somehow. I passed by one point. My teacher was looking out, but it's a lot of different things you got to do. You got to swim with the whole uniform on. You got to swim with the rifle, the gear. It be heavy. It's just
You got to pull up that clip on YouTube that Mike and them showed us.
Oh, it's
Yeah, like,
crazy, but I mean, you can do it. It's after a while, like you can.
So you went from zero, like absolutely nothing, to learning how to swim.
Zero.
By,
See,
like,
it's
pretty much-
possible.
Zero.
But I think Army's tactic is a little extreme for civilians.
Right, you got
you gotta get accustomed to it.
Right.
I'm telling you, you can
They don't
swim.
trust me. I
kill
be
me.
trying to help them. They be like, I think I'm about to drown them.
I mean, you might.
No, I be
You know
trying
that
to help
smile
them.
that you had under the mask? That's how he.
That's how he-
Let's go to the deep end.
Come on, they
Come
like
on,
10
yeah.
pounds in the water. I just hold them up. They be like,
boy-
no,
I
you
still-
gonna let go.
I still can't tread water to save my life, but I can do a little something. I can get on my back and backstroke, but I can't breaststroke. Wait, pause.
Come on, bro. You gotta be strong. That
I'm
wasn't
sorry. I'm sorry.
That wasn't backstroke.
Come on.
Dang, it do
That's 2
sound
times,
crazy
though.
though.
That's
It do
twice.
sound
Yeah,
crazy.
third
times.
bracket, you out.
I'm
You gonna
on
take
my
them
back
sunglasses
out.
off and get
I'm
going.
on- I already took the notes. My fault. Keep
Nah,
going.
but so it's it's possible to pass a swim class. It's definitely possible. You can go from 0 to passing for sure.
All right, bro. Just hope we gotta learn before
Nah,
the kids.
Please
Facts.
do.
You know
Yeah,
what's
y'all-
crazy? You know what's crazy? I take my daughter swimming every Sunday.
And you don't think to get in the pool with her?
I'm in the
in the
pool.
Oh.
You're not listening.
Dude's
I'm
walking
literally
the whole
helping
time.
her learn how
They
to
walking
swim.
the
Without
whole
helping
time,
themselves.
loving
And I'm
walking.
walking. I'm gonna do it, yo. Watch. By this time next year, I'm gonna learn.
I'm gonna do it too,
Come
yo.
on, yo.
All right.
Y'all gotta put a wager on it, like, cause y'all ain't gonna take
That's
it.
what it is.
Nah,
It's
well,
not
it's, the
enough.
kids, it's the kids. I
Yeah,
feel like
it's the kids.
I can't have my daughter
You gotta be
learn how
ready,
to swim
yo.
before me.
That
Like,
is-
that's
yeah,
bad. I'm
bad.
gonna save her.
If you're gonna be in the beach, yeah, you're gonna
see what
have to
I'm
get in
saying?
there. Go.
Yeah,
just
we gotta
go.
do it.
Full go.
So now, like for this whole thing, it's tied to XenHouse, your fitness aspect. So we're gonna tell the story like how you got into XenHouse and what that led to. So we went to a pro day at Army. We went from Malcolm, Said, Mike, and Eric. And we're watching them do their 40 and everything. And I remember a group of younger cadets came up. A was one of them. And they were like, yo, when it's that time, we wanna hit you up and we wanna get in for training. Side note, we don't just do combine prep training. If these Army dudes came to us before their season,
Y'all would be better athletes in general.
okay, just
That's
let
a
that be
fact.
known. We're not just a combine prep place. Anyways, they were all like, "Oh, what's your Instagram?" So I gave my Instagram. A came over on his own, was like, "Man, I don't need that Instagram. I need your phone number. I'm gonna hit you up when it's time." So he got my number. I knew he was serious. He was the only one. So fast forward, I think that was 2 years. You were a sophomore.
Yeah, I
when
was
that was
21.
going.
Yeah.
So 2 years, I'm watching from afar. We would go to the Army Navy games, and I would see him. And then once the season ended, that text came through. Yo, I'm gonna be ready in like a week or so. I think you had to go back to Baltimore.
Yeah.
So talk to us about what that process of getting your mind right after the season to get right into combine training and being consistent with the training and everything like that.
It definitely helped beating Navy, kind of ending on a good note, winning the CIC. And that kind of was a good transition into, we was able to go home for a little bit. We unfortunately didn't make a bowl game, but we went to the crib for like 2-3 weeks, and that was a good refresher. I was able to kind of let my body just rest outside of the physical effects of just playing and practicing every day in games. You know, you have little injuries that never really healed throughout the season. You just play through it, but you get a couple weeks off, you feel a lot better. So that was a good refresher. But I knew what y'all had did to like transform Malk and Sad and Mike Robb and Eric and help those guys out and seeing that firsthand. And I didn't have like anywhere else to train at, so I was just like, why not? You know, why not? And y'all looked out for sure, and it was a nice little prep we had to transition into the pro day for real. But I appreciate it. Y'all definitely got me to where I needed to be to perform. But definitely, if you not just combine prep, but anything, you want to check out XenHouse for sure. They get y'all right.
Can you tell the folks the commitment that you did to get over here? From you didn't have just a free day, so can you tell them what you had to do to get here and how many days a week you were coming here?
But start with the handwritten time and days for 3 months.
So I literally went through my schedule and I had to map out literally every week from when we got back in January till the pro day. And we didn't even have a date at the time. So I just did all of January, all of February, all of March, mapped it out when I could do 2 o'clocks, when I could do 4 o'clocks, when I could do Saturday mornings, whatever. And I had it mapped out. I sent Daz a whole sheet, a paper sheet, notebook. It probably took me like 30 minutes to figure it all out. And I'm like an hour 15 away. And it was definitely a sacrifice that had to be made to get here. But I knew what I wanted to get out of it. And I knew like taking what y'all was telling me, like you want to get in here at least 3 days a week to kind of have that progress like that we needed. So I was like, I'm willing to do whatever, whether I got to come 3-4 days a week, spend my money on gas, do what I got to do.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it for sure. So just, you know, as a cadet, you busy all day. Like I have class though too sometimes. So even 3 sometimes. And just would bust my butt to get over here to be able to work out. But I would do it all over again. I had a lot of fun.
Not at first.
Nah, definitely not at first. Definitely not at first. Definitely not at
You had to
first.
get him in shape, but
Dude was hurt.
Y'all ain't had the OD though, like.
nah, we had to.
But I mean, yeah, I guess so. Cause I feel good. You feel me?
Yeah.
But
So I'm gonna rewind a little bit. What does Army versus Navy mean to you? We noticed outside looking in that at the beginning of the season is beat Navy. That's what all it's about. I went to the bathroom at your pro day. They got the Navy.
the name,
in
yeah,
the
you
urinal.
pee
I'm
on
like,
the
yo,
joint.
come on. So how serious is that? How real do y'all take that rivalry?
It's arguably a top 5 rivalry in college football for sure.
I would say so.
You can argue NFL. I don't get all into that. People say it's an all-time football rivalry. I mean, it's a historic game, so it may be. It may not be as exciting to watch sometimes. Triple option on triple option. A lot of running the football, but that may make it exciting because it's different than you see any other game all year.
Yeah.
So, and it's the only college football game played that day. CBS, so it's a big deal. Definitely to us, to them. You get the bragging rights for that year, and I feel bad. Like sometimes Air Force, they just get let out because we play Air Force like it's a big game. You want to win that game because it helps you get the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. But Navy, like everybody know, Navy, like it's a special venue. The game's always sold out. The tickets be $1,500 for a regular person.
Yep.
You know, the president be there sometimes. So it's a huge deal. Like a lot of people tune in. So you see beat Navy anywhere, everywhere around the facilities. I visited Navy, you see beat Army. So it's just like, it's like a culture thing, culture on culture. So it's a huge deal for sure.
Do they ingrain that in y'all from day one?
Yes.
Like once you walk in the building as a freshman?
Yes, that's one, like top 3 things you learn, like, is beating Navy. Like, you greet people, superior officers will beat Navy after a salute during basic. Like, it's a lifestyle, honestly. But it's one of the funnest games you'll play in. It's sold out, so you gonna get the crowd atmosphere. It's on national television, so you gonna get that exposure. It's the only football game on that day. So
Gotta watch it.
the only other game that's like that is the Super Bowl.
yeah.
Right.
So to have like every year to have your own day, it
dope.
feel like you
Yeah.
playing in the Super Bowl. And I may never get to know what playing in the Super Bowl feel like, but I'm sure Army
When
Navy
they played
right.
in Philly,
It's up
they
there.
felt like
That's
that.
what I'm saying. I'm
Because
right there.
it was
Oh yeah, the
crazy.
first overtime. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
that joint was
the
wild.
game's just crazy every year. It's, them boys play a lot of respect to them boys for sure.
Y'all talking shit? Each
Yeah,
other? It's hella shit. Or it's
yeah.
like,
Like if you pay attention, my junior year, I get into like I hip toss this one dude. This on the last drive, and they throw a flag on both of us, and the penalty's offset. But like, I remember I got to the sideline. I think it's when we was about to kick the field goal to go in the OT. The coaches is like, my position coach is like, you lucky because like your head like, if you know Coach Monken, he would have. Yeah. But anyway, it's a big game. It's a big
Right.
deal.
Coach Monk is the head coach.
He is the head
So,
coach.
so talk about that one time you scored that touchdown. You started grittying. And
Right,
then what
yeah,
happened after you
my
grittied?
junior year, he said, so week one, actually flashback to my freshman year. It was during like a practice. The gritty was popular the year prior.
Mhm.
So my freshman year at the academy, the year prior was Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, all of them at LSU. Every time they scored, they hit the gritty. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna do that. Like when I just make a play, I'm a freshman, so I'm gonna just have fun with it. So I ended up gritty in my freshman year. Like I made a big play at practice. Everybody was hyped. Coach Monken was hyped, and I just grittied off the field. And he like boarded up at the end of practice. I got to break the team down. I'm feeling myself. We had a comeback win my freshman year. Came down from 21-0, ended up beating Georgia Southern. I think Georgia Southern beat them 28-21. And he come in the locker room after the game. He gave a post-game interview. He crying, talking about how proud he of as a team. And he come in the locker room grittying. Like I'm doing the I'm doing the Ay'Jaun Marshall dance or whatever. Like gave me credit for it and everything. So we fast forward to sophomore year. I scored my first touchdown of my career against Bucknell. And I gritty. No, don't say nothing to me. It's not a problem. The whole offense, I think, gritty with me off the field because they knew, like, they knew once I got in the end zone, I was going gritty.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to junior year, week one, I scored a touchdown against Coastal. It's the opening game. I'm hyped. And I dropped the ball and I bust the gritty out. And we end up losing. And he don't say nothing about the gritty. We be having a disagreement to this day whether he says something about the gritty or not. But he came in our position room and got on me for not handing the ball to the referee after I scored. Two other dudes did it before. When they scored, before I scored, I was the third person to score. Two other dudes ain't handing the ball to the ref. But he ain't say none of them because one of the other dudes was in the position room with me. So he ain't say nothing. He just came in and said something to me. So it is what it is. I ain't think too much of it. But I specifically remember him saying, when you score a touchdown, what do? We hand the ball to the ref. He like, all right, so why didn't you hand the ball to the ref? No excuse, blah, blah, blah. Transitioning into week two, I have the opening touchdown of the game, 80-yard jump, over the shoulder catch. I'm gone. So you see me slow down and immediately hand the ball to the ref. One of my position coach said I was being like smart or slick when I did that, but I was like, no, I just wanted to make sure
You can't
like
even just do it.
ref got the ball. Yeah, you
Not
feel
messing
me?
around this time.
So then I throw my hands up. The crowd rocking, going crazy. So then I just keep my hands up and like all my teammates come and celebrate with me. And then one of the fullbacks on the team, Tyson Riley, he like, come on, hit the gritty, and he start grittying. I just do a light one, like a light gritty. And then I jog off and I'm still hyping the crowd up. And I run hallway behind the bench like I'm still hyping the crowd up. So we end up losing that game. So we start off 0-2, so coach not happy. I get a text from my position coach. It's like 8 a.m. I just woke up. He like, come on, Ay'Jaun.
His dad.
Like, he said not the gritty. And I was like, no way. In my head, I'm thinking, no way I'm about to get in trouble for helping the team, though. You feel like
That's because y'all losing.
But we was losing, so team, what team? So I go in that morning, I meet with my position coach. He like, come on. I'm like, coach, I remember him specifically saying hand the ball to the ref, and that's what I did. But he's like, you ain't even celebrating with your teammates. Anytime on our film, our little app, anytime somebody score, the camera pan to the scoreboard after somebody scored. Like they'll score in the end zone and it'll pan immediately to the scoreboard.
It
stayed on you. Stayed on me. Like it was like it was planned. Like it was like the camera stayed on me from the time I scored, handed the ball to the ref. I'm sitting on the bench getting a shot of water. The camera finally panned to the scoreboard after that. Like they done already kicked the PAT and everything at this point, but the camera, so it literally followed me. And it looked bad. It's like 3 of my teammates, they old linemen. It was an 80-yarder, so they only made it to about the 50. Then they start jogging to the sideline. So I'm still hyping the crowd up, but I'm like about 6 dudes came to me. I celebrated with them. He got on me. He like, you not celebrating with your teammates? Like, you selfish. Like, and I understood what he meant to an extent because I could have waited for them 3 teammates. But they was running to the sideline. So I'm not saying I wanted all the attention, but how many people scored college football touchdown, opening, you feel like that dude, that's dreams come true. So I had to live it up, but
what ended up happening?
I ended up getting suspended for a game or 2. Going back, should I have gritty? Probably not, but it can't go back. And that's one thing they can't take away from me. I done gritted on ESPN. I done gritted on CBS Sports Network. That's something I can say forever. You feel me?
And being from Army, I feel like you won't see that.
And you gritted your ass to a suspension,
it was a little.
You said what?
He could be the first. I gritted my ass to a suspension too. That's a first.
Yeah, that probably is a first for real. But
that's definitely a first.
And last.
Especially as the celebrations in college football be crazy. They be letting them boys rock out.
Yeah, they let them go crazy.
That's how it should be.
But it's different at Army. Army, they hold you.
Yeah, we gotta be. You can't let your personality out all the time.
Yeah, you pick and choose.
Yeah.
I think it's that time.
It's that time.
So we got questions. We need answers.
Yeah.
We're gonna fire them out. You answer them as fast as you can. All right.
All right, bet.
Some of them, it's from the heart, so you know.
Yeah.
First and foremost, you play slot. Who's the better slot receiver, Cooper Kupp or Wes Welker?
I say Cooper Kupp. It's hard to judge how good. Wes Welker was good, don't get me wrong, but it's hard to judge how good he was playing with the GOAT his whole career, Brady. Right. Brady done made whoever. It was 3 more Wes Welkers after Wes Welker. You feel me? So I think definitely Cooper Kupp. He done played with Jared Goff, who made Matthew Stafford, who he tough, but he straight. He not bad, but like neither one of them Brady. So I think Cooper Kupp for sure. Cooper Kupp, he like that.
He nice boy.
Tough.
Yeah.
If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would you do?
He laughing. He knows.
I think with everything now with college football and how the landscape's so different, and you got NIL and you got the transfer portal, like that all didn't come out to like my sophomore year. But I see dudes getting a bag. I see dudes at FCS schools, you feel me, getting a bag. And getting that, like it's brought a whole different level to the game. So I think probably going back, if I kind of knew that was happening, because you can't make NIL at Army, but
right.
To be able to play on the level and still kind of like make that money, and I think it's good for college athletes, and I would have loved to partake in it. So I might have went a different route outside of going to a military academy. But it's experience at the military academy that I wouldn't trade for nothing. So.
What's one of the biggest myths of going to Army? People think that is not true.
That you got to be in uniform like from sunrise to sunset. For the most part, you are in uniform during the duty day, which is between when you wake up and 4 p.m. or 1600 for you military type. But after kind of like 1600, if you a senior, you can wear like civilian clothes. If you're a junior, I think you can kind of get those same privileges. And then like sophomore and freshman year, you still got to wear a uniform. But I think that's probably like one of the biggest myths. But for the most part, everything at Army, like you could look up, like, because people do have went there, news coverage, stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff like that people don't really get to see that they document. But outside of that, I think that's probably the biggest myth. You're going to be in uniform 24/7.
What's your biggest fear outside of that water, that deep water?
Yeah, that might be one. Dang, that's a good one. Biggest fear.
It could be
Other
anything.
than drowning. Even though I would never be in this situation, but like, y'all ever hear about them people getting trapped in them caves?
Oh man.
When they cave exploring and
be
they like,
slithering on the
and they
ground.
like, they just get stuck in a crazy
It's
position
called-
and they
it's-
like,
I forgot what it's called, but it's
it's like,
It's a thing.
slow.
that's my biggest, whatever
You
that
would be
name is, I'm
dying
not,
too.
yeah, like,
There's a dude that was
crazy.
on camera and got him.
yeah, that's like, why would you?
Upside down.
One, like, it ain't nothing in them caves for you. Like, nobody, they doing it for free, trying to get views on YouTube. Like, they geeking. I'm not doing that. But that's probably my biggest fear.
That's not it. Yo. If you won $10 million tomorrow, what are you spending it on?
All right. I definitely gotta make sure the fam is good. That's first and foremost. So, however much money, I split it, $5 million. I put $5 million aside, make sure the fam is good completely. And I might still have money left over, and then the other $5 million, I mean, dang, I don't know. Definitely open up some businesses. I always wanted to have like my own podcast, so that would be dope. Kind of start that up. Y'all can be the first guest on that. You feel me? Reciprocate the favor, but
Set it up.
yeah, I just get right in life. Honestly, like you could do a lot with 10 million, and you could always flip that. Now, how you flip it?
Here we go. Flip.
Look, I'm just saying. Look, however you flip it, that's
It's your
up
business.
to you.
That's
Yeah,
you
hey,
and the Lord.
if
yo.
the 10 mil turned to 20 mil, or however much it turned into, then you must have did your job.
Okay.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered?
Just a good person, good dude for real. Definitely legendary in some way. I even got it tatted on me. I think just being able to impact people kind of bragging, saying they know me. It's kind of like one of them things. But even if it don't happen, like I just want to be like a good person. Like when people talk about me, like they can't say nothing negative without feeling that like I'm hating a little bit. Like you know when you hating, you like you can tell you hating. Like
Some people can't. They just follow through.
They're just gone.
they just natural haters.
No
I mean, yeah.
self-awareness, no awareness.
But if you like a good person, you can tell when you like hating a little bit. Like I'm
Yeah.
hating. So I think if people can just talk about me in a positive way, then I think that's probably the best way I go out.
I'm gonna rewind a little bit. Being in the academy, I mean, it's obvious you got some type of personality, right?
Yeah.
How difficult is it to be you, right? Be a person of color from Baltimore in the Army and also be in that structure of Army. How difficult is that? And do you see how sometimes it doesn't benefit you to be you?
Yes. West Point has, even over history in terms of like the integration of black folk into the academy, was a long process for just like with anything with the country in general, just, you know, with the civil rights movement and everything. So I think now it's in a better spot, but every year it's kind of like they break the record for amount of black graduates. So you still see it's kind of on the rise for sure in terms of black people that attend that, and they come from, you know, all different backgrounds, being from Baltimore and kind of having that personality. If you know from somebody from Baltimore, you know, but it was difficult at first, but I think over the course I learned to kind of mesh the two, be able to keep my personality, but kind of like use it in a way that they would like in the Army. Like in the Army, they big on like enthusiasm and being hype and kind of having that charisma. So I just was like trying to find a way to incorporate my energy into some things we doing in terms of the Army. And it was like a mental thing. And it was something as I got older, I learned to do to like, cause you can make the best of any situation. The stuff we doing is not that bad, even though sometimes it suck. Like it be ass for real, but it's, but it's just like,
That's life.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Life be, I done been through tougher times outside of the military, you feel me? So I think going along with that too kind of definitely helped me prepare for that transition. But I'm able now to be more myself. And if that's the route I take, whether, you know, NFL or military, I'm fine with either, to be honest. But if that's the route that I take, I'm gonna try to honestly like treat the military as much like football as I can. And it's some similar aspects and then there's some not, but just that's probably the best way I can do it, for sure.
I would say it's similar to like people, their day-to-day that work corporate. They're a completely different person on the clock. And off the clock, they could be themselves. They got them voice. Alex got the voice, boy. When that phone call come in,
got the state trooper look.
Good afternoon. This is XenHouse. Alex speaking. And then I'm like, "Fuck you say?" Right after. You said something?
Yeah, like I'm telling you, you can do it. It's anybody could do it for real. I done seen dudes.
You gotta have that professionalism, and you gotta have
Yeah,
that
and I done
realism.
I've been able to do it for both. Sometimes I be trying like mask how I pronounce certain words because when I'm in a professional setting, people still like, "What'd you just say?" But it's you feel it come with
That's
it.
you though.
And
It is
I
what it
can't change that too much. So it's a switch. Like I said earlier, you gotta be able to flip it on and off. Like I'm on leave, so I can be wearing all this and got earrings and stuff like that. But when I'm not on leave and I still gotta represent. And that,
Are we done with the question?
we are done with the question.
So I got one more question.
Oh,
Can
boy.
you tell the people what you got on? Break down the fit. Because you came in
Yeah, so these.
talking. So we want the people to
So
know
these,
what's
might,
going
you
on.
might have to stand up and talk.
you might
what's
have to
up.
stand up and talk about it.
So this a vintage American Eagle. I think it say 1977. It's a
Okay.
vintage American Eagle jacket.
Okay.
I don't remember where I got these jeans from exactly. I think H&M, but they the cargo jeans. Nice
Okay.
little slim fit look. I got the Mike Jack look going with the loafers. They the
Stop playing with
they the Voss loafers. I got the Fendi around the waist.
Oh
you
my
feel me?
gosh.
I got the Fendi. I don't know if y'all can see these. That's Versace on the face.
How you spell Versace?
That's Versace. That's Versace.
Or Versace.
The earrings.
Talk to him.
The earrings was like close to a band for real. Funny story, I was in Miami spring break last year.
Can't go this year.
They broke up with you.
I was in Miami, lost my earrings. So I'm like, I'm in Miami. I'm like, let me just go to get a new pair. Went and got these joints. They came out to be like $9.95.
Boy, God.
Swipe the
Dude's got
card.
money.
Swipe the card, it ain't declined. So I was
good.
good. I ain't got that money no more though. Don't nobody ask me
Don't
looking
come
for
looking
no
for
money.
me.
Yeah, I'm not living as good as I was, but I lived it up in Miami for a little bit. That was fun.
So talk to him for what's next. You got trials coming up. You got anything with the career coming up. You getting ready to graduate.
Yeah. Graduation May 25th. I will graduate on time, Lord willing, but I definitely will. I'm gonna do that. If you know West Point, it could be 2 weeks, 3 days before you get into any little hiccup. You not graduating. I done seen some people not graduate at all, graduate later, have to go to the real Army. So it's real. But I'm locked in. I'm locked in. So then I got some CFL tryouts coming up. Not this upcoming Saturday, but about 2 weeks from now, April 6th in DC.
Yep.
I'm gonna go to that. I just had the pro day. These boys helped get me right for the pro day. The pro day, it was what it was. But it was a good experience. So I'm trying, if I can continue my football career.
That's
But
it.
if not, I don't got a bad plan B. I'll be a second lieutenant in the Army. I branched armor. I'm going to be Fort Riley, Kansas. So, either way, life kind of transitioning. If I had to look at and think about where I was at 15, 16, 17, if I think I would be in the position I am today, having these having a plan A and plan B. That's
a blessing.
either way is guaranteed. Whichever way it go, it's it's guaranteed. I'm thankful. Not many people get to do this at my age, coming from where I'm from. But it's a blessing in disguise. So I'm thankful for it all. And we'll see where it take me. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
How can the folks find you on social media?
My Instagram and Twitter handle is _Ay'Jaun, AYJ AUN. I was looking at
You can't tell. You can't
You got the
tell.
sunglasses on.
it's 8 cameras, lights, you feel me?
That's why you got the sunglasses on, huh?
Nah, I took the sunglasses.
Oh, okay.
I had to show, you feel me? I had to show
Versace? Okay.
But _Ay'Jaun, you can find me. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's just my name. LinkedIn, I ain't been too much on that, but I'm gonna use that LinkedIn.
You gonna have to.
When they say them West Point connections pay off, I need to be rich.
Yeah. I need to be rich.
So
yeah, we appreciate you. He drove up from Baltimore.
From
come
Baltimore,
here.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming.
Worth it. Appreciate it.
Definitely, of course.
We appreciate you. We signing off. Episode 64. We out.
XenHouse, yeah. XenHouse, yeah.